My baby's name is Beverly.
What is your baby's name?
Kiari. So we have the twins, and then we have Joseph, we have Riley, Hope, and Leo.
And our baby's name is Sean Patterson Staple.
Lincoln Dallin Hamilton, we just called him Link.
So I had the emergency C-section, and then I ended up staying here because I was hemorrhaging and having problems. And they flew her and my husband to Primary Children's. And because they were hoping that with Primary Children's, they said maybe they could do more than we could do. And Primary Children's told us that they could probably do surgery on her to get her, help her heart and different things because her organs had started to shut down already. But I knew it wasn't fair to her to keep her around for me. Like, she didn't need to stick around. And so I told my husband on the phone to let her go. So he held her until she took her last breath.
And next thing we knew, they said, no, we're doing a C-section right now. Get ready. And so things went really fast. But he was in the NICU for 2 days and then passed away.
So I first lost our twins. They were about 10 weeks along.
I lost her at a month old. Yeah.
We finally went to the doctor and he helped us and we got pregnant again. And that was a really hard pregnancy. I was really, really sick, and I wanted it to be over, but not the way that it was. And he was about 18 weeks. We had our appointment on New Year's Eve to go and find out the gender. And we went to the doctor's office, and there was no heartbeat.
My absolute favorite thing that she would do is sneeze and then go like she was surprised about her sneeze, and it was just the cutest thing ever. And I was like so grateful I got that 1 month with her.
So Link he would have been 5 months old like the next week, so he was almost 5 months old.
Honestly, me and my husband accepted the fact that we were never going to have children because I have polycystic ovarian. And when we found out, we were just like over the moon surprised.
There's a lot because he was a little bit older than a lot of the babies that we see here, but he just had the cutest laugh and smile. He started smiling like no one believes me, but at the hospital he was only like 2 weeks old, and I'm like, that is a real smile.
When she came out, I always felt like something was wrong. But no one wanted to listen to me. And then it was our anniversary, my husband's anniversary, and she started to look sick. And it was just like the littlest cough, but you could tell it was just something bugging her. So we're just waiting it out and seeing like she'll be okay kind of thing. And it wasn't okay. I woke up to her cold, and that was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. And so sleep is the hardest thing to do.
We lost Claire. She was a full-term 41 in a couple days, 41 weeks in a couple days. And she lived for 3 days, and then we took her off life support.
Then about 8 months later, I had another miscarriage, about 8 weeks along. And the interesting thing is that they all hurt. They all hurt. But they're different.
She was beautiful. And strong. And then she fought. She lived for just over 11 hours. Right? She lived for 11 hours and 11 minutes until we could let her go.
I ended up having an emergency C-section. where I had to be put under, and I remember waking up and wondering if my baby was alive or not.
And then about a year later again, I got pregnant again, and then I lost again. And her name was Hope because I had to learn how to have hope, even though things weren't looking good. We would go and we would see her on the ultrasound, and I was bleeding. I knew I was miscarrying, but then she'd be there with a heartbeat, and so then it was like, okay, you know, there's a possibility this could still turn around, but ultimately we ended up losing her too. But she taught me that even if things don't turn out, it's important to have hope.
It was just a regular Tuesday, and my husband was at the dentist getting his teeth worked on. I was supposed to switch out with him. He was going to come back. I had put Link down for a nap, and I went to get him up to feed him before Jason got home, and he was in his crib. He had rolled over, and he was just blue and cold. I picked him up and I just screamed, and I walked out, and my girls came, 2 of them were home, and they didn't understand what was going on, and I laid him down. I called 911 and I called Jason, and it was just, at that point, like, I just went into shock, and but I knew from the minute I picked him up that he was gone.
We had the 12-week ultrasound. Things were great, so we decided to tell our kids, and that night I lost him.
I was introduced to Cher through a friend who had also lost a baby and had been connected with the group, and she told me that when I was ready, she would ask Cher to put together a package for me.
How has Cher helped you?
In a lot of really good ways. I'm actually on the board of Share, and I have been for the last several years. I help plan the activities, and being a part of it and helping other moms go through, like, when they go through the worst day of their life. It's healing for me to be there and help them. You know, not that you want to be a part of this group, but there are so many women who are a part of this group that suffer in silence. Like, whether it's a miscarriage, or it's a later term birth, or it's SIDS or an accident of some sort, and a lot of women think they're alone. And so I think it's really been good for them to see that they're not alone.
When we were at the hospital, someone had overheard what was going on, and they asked if they wanted us to have them call sheriff, and I was like, sure. I don't know anything about it, and I was just distraught and devastated and didn't really know what was going on. And it was honestly the best thing ever, because they helped me through the whole process.
My experience was that I left the ER. No one called Cher when I was at the ER. Sometimes that's part of the reason we're trying to get them to do that, but no one called Cher. So I left the hospital with nothing, without my baby, without any kind of pamphlets or any kind of support documentation to say this is, it was terrible. That's part of the reason why I've gotten more involved in Cher, because no one should have to leave the hospital completely empty-handed. No one should have to just be like, hey, your baby's dead, go home. You know what I mean? That is huge for me, to be able to come to the hospital and be like, you are not alone, and we're here to make sure your baby is remembered. We're gonna do hand molds, we're gonna do foot molds, we're gonna take pictures, we're gonna give you some things that will help you remember them. They were here, and that's a huge thing for a lost mom.
You wish you could tell Beverly.
I talk to her all the time. I tell her things every day. She's very much a part of our family. We don't hide her. We don't ignore her, pretending that she never happened. Her picture's on our wall. My kids know about her. We celebrate her birthday. She has her own Christmas stocking at Christmas. In fact, we put her picture on our tree as our angel. Like, she's our angel on our tree every year. So she's very much a part of our family. So I talk to her all the time. I tell her how much I love her and how proud of her I am. Because I know her decision wasn't easy either to leave. She had her mission too. And I know it's hard for her probably to see us missing her.
Oh, I'd give him a hug. Give him the biggest hug. Let him know how special he is. How much we love him. That I love her. And that I miss her. And thank you for everything she's done for us. For all the time that we got with her, and that I miss her and think of her every day.
Oh, I would just tell him how much I love him. I think he knows that, but you know, I would just also just express my gratitude. I know that he has watched over us these last 10 years, and you know, I have a newsletter that I've always done since my oldest was little, and when he passed away, I couldn't force myself to take his name out of it. So he's continued to stay in the newsletter, and every month I'm like, what if there's nothing to put in the newsletter? But every month it's like there's something, there's a love note, there's a way that I felt like he watched over us, there's a way that we've talked about him, that we've honored him, that we've remembered him, that we, you know, there's always something to put in there that he's given us that, you know, I just know he'll always watch over us. And that's what I would think I would just most of all just be so grateful for his time here and for all he's doing on the other side for us.
There were times where it gets hard, really hard. And so I just want people to know that even though it gets really hard, tomorrow's a new day, and it's not going to be as hard every day.
Take your time. There will be days that are very, very hard. Days that it doesn't feel real. And it's okay to reach out. You're not a burden to others. It's good to have a support group. And I think communicating with those around you. And a friend told me it's okay to have weepy days. That for no reason you just need to cry. It's alright. Go ahead and cry. That you never fully get over it, but a day at a time. Life goes on.